it's Mr. Keys, and today we're going to take a look at the editor window in Logic Pro 10. In music, we have something called a time signature. The time signature for most popular music is always 4/4. You can think of 4/4 as representing 4 beats in a bar. That's the simple definition. This is a bar. A bar represents a segment in time in a song and is composed of a certain amount of beats. In the case of most popular music, we mainly have 4 beats in each bar. So that begs the question, what is a beat? Well, this is a beat, from here to here. We usually count our beats. This is beat 1, from here to here. This is beat 2, from here to here. Beat 3 is from here to here, and beat 4 goes from here to here. I'm going to record some notes, and then we'll take a look at the length of each note in the editor window. When you record something on a keyboard in Logic, it produces these green regions called MIDI regions. MIDI is generated when you use a MIDI instrument, like this MIDI keyboard that I'm using. When you record something like a guitar, acoustic drums, or the human voice, it does not create MIDI regions since they are not MIDI instruments. These regions do not have to be green. If you right-click on this MIDI region, go to Name and Color, Show Hide Colors, you can change the color of the regions. I'm just going to keep mine as the default, which is green. Now that we've created a MIDI region, we can open the editor by selecting the MIDI region and pressing this button. We can also open the editor window by double-clicking on the MIDI region itself. We can resize this region, making it smaller or bigger. I'm going to choose to keep it bigger. And notice that all the notes that we played are seen here as colored rectangles. We may want to see bars of notes or just a single bar. The zoom controls over here can help us with that. The horizontal zoom allows us to see a lot more or to see a lot less. We can zoom vertically as well. We can see more of the keys on the keyboard, or we can see less. We can also use a shortcut key and the mouse to zoom in and out by holding the Option key and by scrolling horizontally or vertically. We can also use keyboard shortcuts for zooming in and out. If we press Command plus the right arrow, we'll zoom in, and Command plus the left arrow will zoom out. Notice how when we zoom in and out, the division lines increase or decrease after a certain point. The division lines are decreasing, and now the division lines are increasing. Let's set the zoom so that we can only see one bar. There we go. Now we can see all the notes that are in bar 1. The number 1 over here indicates that this is the beginning of bar 1. The beginning of bar 1 is known as beat 1. 1.2 means bar 1, beat 2. 1.3 means bar 1, beat 3, and 1.4 means bar 1, beat 4. The 2 over here indicates the beginning of bar 2. And then bar 2 will have its own beats 1, 2, 3, and 4, shown as 2, 2.2, 2.3, and 2.4. These extra divisional lines indicate subdivisions within each beat. In this case, the beats show 4 parts. We'll discuss this a little more in future videos. Let's talk about note length. If I want this note to be 1 beat long, then I would make it go from here, the beginning of the bar, to here, 1.2. This is one entire beat. In standard music notation, we call this a quarter note. So this would be what a quarter note looks like in Logic Pro. It doesn't matter where the note begins. It just matters that it's exactly this long. So we could have the note beginning over here, or we could have it beginning where it began in the first place. If I wanted to make this same note 2 beats, I'm just going to remove this one by pressing delete. Then I can extend it like this, and now it's 2 beats long. In standard music notation, we call this a half note. We can extend this note to be 3 beats, which would be called a dotted half note. And we can even have it to be 4 beats. In this case, it would be a whole note. A whole note takes up the entire bar. Let's set it back to where it was before. Since this region is 4 bars long, we can extend it up here by pulling it out like this, or we can make it smaller by pulling it in like this. And notice how on the editor window, it also shows us that it's been shortened. Let's put it back to where it was. So that's a little intro to how MIDI works and the editor region and rhythm in Logic Pro 10.